Rocky,
Hey,
how
so
are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Long time no speak. Not too
Yeah,
long.
and we're so excited that you're joining us today. It's such a thrill for all of us.
Man, I'm so excited to be here. Yo, thanks for having me.
It's our absolute pleasure. And firstly, where are you calling from?
Los Angeles, California. Yeah, I'm in
How is
LA
it
right
there?
now. It's cool. It's a little weird. The weather is, I guess, common, typical LA weather. 1 minute it's hot, next minute it's cold.
So you ready to jump right in? And I'm just going to ask you a series of questions. And you can answer them in any way you wish.
By any means, please, let's do it.
Okay. My first question is, what is your earliest memory from childhood?
My earliest memory from childhood. I guess being around like 2 years old. I gotta I don't know. I get a few flashbacks every now and then. And from my recollection, I just kind of remember, you know, wandering the house and trying to figure out what the toilet was, what the sink was, typical kid stuff.
Yeah. And was there a moment when you realized you wanted to be an artist?
I think the moment I realized I wanted to be an artist, I was a little older than 2 or 3, but I was around like 8 or 9 years old
Yeah.
when I discovered that I wanted to be a music artist. Yeah.
And was there something that triggered that? Was there something that some kind of an awakening of some sort that you're like, oh yeah, this is.
Yeah, ironically, my big brother, he was heavy into rap and music, so I think all of my influence kind of derived from what he liked, and
Yeah.
he was a big influence on me. So he used to beat on the table, like remember when you were back at school and on the desk and you just beat on the table to make like a beat or something. That's what
Yeah.
we would do, and I just would start rapping, but I had like this like kind of natural kind of talent with it. Like it was like I started flowing, and it was just like it was kind of magic on the canvas right away. You like that analogy?
I like that. I like that a lot. So
Yeah.
who were some of the early influences when you were coming of age? Who were the?
Yeah. It was as far as music, it was like Wu-Tang Clan, Bone Thugs and Harmony, DMX and the Rough Riders. God rest in peace, rest his soul. That was like really like early on. My brother was big into like those groups and Rough Riders and DMX. So like that's what I remember really coming up on.
So was there a particular song or an album that you feel changed your life between before and after? Like a song that just like altered your existence or your being?
Man, it's quite a few. It was a couple of Bone Thugs songs, Bone Thugs and Harmony. You ever heard of them? They had
Yeah,
this song called
sure.
Crossroads.
Of course.
And it was tight. A lot of down south, like Memphis. Yeah. It's probably Memphis music and UGK music and Dipset, like Harlem. They kind of changed. They influenced me so crazy. It was like, I think hearing the music to me from like 3 6 Mafia and Wu-Tang and UGK, it was like mystical, ethereal. Like it was kind of like it felt like it puts you in another trance. Like it's almost like you know getting high for like it's like Sonics. And excuse me, but it's true. It takes you to another element,
Yeah.
musically. And that's what I try to implement usually when I work. Is just I want people to feel something. I want you to take back something, even if music strikes any kind of emotion. I think that's the goal, because I think it's just like it's surface, right? I think it's substance. I think things that are lackluster, they don't have any emotional connection to it. It's just work. It's just out there and it exists in the universe. I think, in my opinion, for me, things that have always like kind of changed music and it changed my opinion on music was always like mythical ambient music. And even in hip hop, like Portishead was a big influence on me, like huge influence, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Portishead was my shit, bro.
Wow. It's such interesting production on their songs, on their
right. It's cinematic visually.
Yeah.
It's a movie, you know. I feel the same way about Tom York and Radiohead and their work, you know. It's just Bjork. It's just a lot of artists who kind of like go the extra limit. That's what I like, you know.
So tell us about the process, the writing process and recording.
For me, my process varies, man. Like sometimes it'll just come to me on a freestyle. Other times I write it down in my phone or on the paper.
Yeah.
You know, I think it varies, honestly. It's really no wrong or right way to make music. The process is the process. You know, some people are fortunate enough to have a quicker process, and some people, others take really long, you know, their process. So yeah, for me, it varies. I have some times where I just go right in the studio and ace it as far as the concept, as far as execution and everything, finish the song right there on the spot. But then you got casualties, or which is most of the time when it's just like you work on the idea and it just starts as an initial idea. You come back and revisit it. It's just like any other piece. I mean, I don't mean to like digress, or get off topic, but isn't it the same when you're kind of working on your work a little bit? Like, can't you come back to certain things, edit it, make revisions?
Yeah, absolutely. But do you know when you have something? Do you like when you feel like you've got something that just feels right?
I feel like every true, genuine, like purist as an artist, which you are, which I am, would never finish. The product is never done, even when it's out, right? You know, so I think that's that. It's never done, man. It's never finished.
I was going to ask you, do you know when the song is finished or complete? But perhaps not.
Yeah, sometimes it takes like just catching a vibe, calling up some friends, and you know, playing your vibes from and just seeing how everybody reacts to it, how the vibrations flow throughout the room and shit. And I think you could kind of like get a sense on, you know, what works, what sticks, and what doesn't, you know?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Me, it's just really weird. My quest to find like, you know, complete music or to make complete music, my quest is weird. Sometimes I might, you know, I prefer like city transportation buses to, you know, sit on and get on the back and zone out and just look out the windows. Or maybe like a subway train or just like an Uber or a taxi, just drive around and listen to music in your headphones and just really daydream about it. That's how I come up with a lot of the visual components for the music. Yeah.
So is the sense of place important? Like landscape? Like where
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. It's just as vital as it is for you.
Yeah.
You know, I think without the environment, I mean, there's really nothing. I mean, in my opinion, you could be under a rock making music all day and make some decent music. But I do feel like when you encompass or when you embody what's around you and, you know, you manifest what you're receiving and shit like that, like, which is usually your environment, what's all around you, you know, it's just, it has to influence you somehow, even if you vow to never make music that's dedicated to this region, or you like, man, no one around this region is, or no one around where I'm from is doing this kind of shit. So you know, I need to pick up inspiration from here. That's why I go to places like Berlin and Paris and London, and, you know, just to finish my music and records. It's just I need a different feel for it, you know.
So what is the difference between the recording process and then playing live for an audience?
It's a way bigger difference. I mean, when you're in front of an audience, usually they're engaging with you, and 9 times out of 10 they're familiar with the songs you're singing, you know. I think when you record in front of people, it's just a process that they got to sit through and wait, especially if they're not contributing to the music or featured on the music. I think, you know, it's an energy that's shared on stage that you can't explain. Let me give you an example. It's times in my career where I've been sick, and I'm talking about really sick to the point where it's just like, if you cancel a show, you don't appear to be sick, but if you cancel a show, it's just bad for your reputation and business, right? And so
yeah,
you literally got to go on that stage. And for me, I'm fortunate enough to have music and fans and just listeners and followers who actually provide a mutual, if not more intensified energy, you know? So when you get on stage, they lend you and loan you energy that you need to hop around and just forget about being sick and kind of be present in the moment, you know, for that performance. I think a live performance is just displaying your artistic value. That's really the purpose of this shit, you know? Some people look at it for like a bag. You know what a bag is, Gregory? Do you know what that is?
you think I
Right,
tell me?
I'm gonna bring you with me to the strip clubs when they open back up, and I'm gonna show you what a bag is. I'm just fucking with you. I'm totally Some people literally do shows for a bag, which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, we all want to make money. A bag is just another word for money.
Right.
And I think when you could do both and make money and also have an experience, I think that's the beauty and the blessing of it, you know, because it's music business at the end of the day, but I'm really an artist, and a lot of the times my feelings and emotions are too connected to this shit, and I care too much. And that can also be a bad thing, all jokes aside. You know?
What is the least favorite part of the artistic process for you? The part you like the least from beginning to end?
A few things. I'm very impatient. Like, I'm anxious.
Yeah.
I get excited. Like right now, you see how fast I'm talking? Like, I usually talk really slow, but I just been like, you know, fumbling over my words and shit.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
What I would say is, I think I don't really get annoyed from the process as much as okay. What really kills me about the process is one of the things that killed me, because it's quite a few if you got time, but
I have time.
One of the things that that irks me, man, is just like you make an amazing song, and I mean, I'm talking about it's crazy. This shit is just it's sick, right? And you go to kind of service it, meaning like get it cleared and deal with the logistics of it, you know, publishing and all of that shit. And I think you know, a lot of these estates and a lot of these older acts and stuff like that, sometimes they're not too keen to like clearing records. So sometimes you might make a record that doesn't get cleared, and you just stuck just sitting on gold and just sitting on something tight that's just dope, and it just can't get clear. That's the worst thing about sampling, when you can't clear something, or when douchebags come back and they're like, well, look, I'm 81 years old, so I just need 81% of this record, or how about 100%? Because I'm just an old fucking fart. I have a lot of respect for the OGs, by the way, but it's a couple of old parts that didn't clear some records, and I got a problem with it.
Let me ask you, turn it around and ask, what is the part you like the best, the absolute best?
I don't know how to word this. It's almost like instant gratification.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the trophies that people give me and shit like that, you know. I think artists of my caliber being so like rare, like in a rare state where I choose to not compromise, you know, any of the creativity, or for lack of better words, sell out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm choosing, you know, to stick to my guns and shit like that. I think what I love the best about this shit is just when regular people who fuck with my shit or is influenced by it just tells you like, yo, I like that. I fuck with that. Or thank you for that. Or yo, that was tight. Or man, I love this change. Like that kind of shit is like a trophy. It's not like a trophy. It is a trophy.
Yeah.
It's my Oscar, my Grammy, my Emmy, any award or reward that they get kind of give you. I think we get from our supporters and fans and shit like that verbally, you know. And another part is the fickle part of just people who just want, you know, a picture or some shit like that. That shit, honestly, I hope the word is out there that like I'm not a douche at all. Like, you know, I just don't like taking photos.
Yeah.
Especially with people who, I don't know. So it depends on the it depends on the circumstances and shit like that. You might catch me in a good mood, but like people who feel obligated to get a picture because, you know, they like you or they know a few of your songs. It's almost like, yo, you got to realize like we human, and we say this all the time. We're human, motherfuckers. Sometimes you really just like, you know, wake up, you know, yawning like everyone else, scratching your balls, and, you know, go brush your teeth, and you put on a pair of pants like everybody else, one leg at a time, and you eat shit and sleep. So I think that sometimes that facade is just like kind of, I mean, well, sometimes that fact that's just counted out and it's totally just like looked upon. It's just people don't care about that. They don't even acknowledge the fact that sometimes you might just be human going through some regular human shit that day. You just don't really look good, and you don't want to, like right now, if somebody saw me on the street, I wouldn't take a picture because I don't like what I have on right now.
You look good to me.
Thank you. I just was waiting for a compliment. I set you up for that.
I know. Is your work autobiographical, do you think? Does it reflect your life and your experience and
do you feel like I should be telling this? Do you feel like it should come from me, or do you feel like someone else could? Do I feel like someone else could convey my story? I'm sorry, what were you really asking?
Like if you like look at all your life's work, like how much in the end do you feel like it singularly tells your story? I guess, you know.
I think that's the thing. I'm still on a mission to do that. I don't think I accomplished that yet, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think I accomplished you know, it's a lot in me that people don't know. Obviously, I'm kind of reserved these days. You know, I don't really post too much on the gram, and people don't know what my day-to-day life is like at this very moment, you know? But I do want to, you know, I'm 32 years old. I plan on doing this shit till I die. Yeah. And that's just like, you know, I'm a Renaissance man. So whatever that means, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, visual arts or music arts or painting, it doesn't matter, you know, designing clothes or interior decorating. This is all shit that I'm compassionate about, that I'm great at, you know, and I want to explore all those avenues. And these are things that people don't know about me because I haven't accomplished anything. Mm-hmm. And I think it'd be quite pretentious and premature for me to just go out and regurgitate and saying, oh, look, I do this, I do that, I do that, I do this. And, you know, I really and truly, I didn't do anything magical yet in those fields. So that's why, you know, my story hasn't been told. I need to actually accomplish things in those fields, opposed to just being known for doing it or being a cool guy who could do, you know, multiple tricks and shit like that. Like, you know, that's just, for
Right.
lack of better words.
Right. Tell us about the collaborative process. You've worked with many.
I think, yeah, man, you asking some really interesting questions. You know that even journalists don't even. You need to consider journalism, man. You might have a second career there. Well, you're quite good at this thing.
My father was a psychiatrist, so maybe I inherited something there.
Oh shit! Oh, okay. Psychological shit. He's in my psyche. Okay. No, but what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Just tell me about the collaborative process.
I think I'm probably the easiest person to collaborate with in any field, music, fashion. I just love to collaborate, man. It's because I'm a catalyst for like merging and bridging gaps and shit and kind of marriage and things, right? And usually my work, that's what it shows. You know, I work with artists as people wouldn't expect me to, and not because it's unexpected, it's because of what they you know bring. And I see value in peculiar other people that people wouldn't necessarily look at first and shit like that. And you know, I see the value in things that's like, this is the shit, but the world doesn't know it's the shit yet, you know? Right. And it's other things that I see and I'm like, this is just shit.
Right. How about your work with ASAP Mob?
Oh, that's tight. You know, those are my hooligans.
Yeah. So how does that work? How does that all work?
It's a little difficult as a collective, right? Because it's so many moving different parts, and I think what made us dope is just like the unity and the brotherhood throughout the years. Obviously, we all bring like this, like a dope aesthetic individually, all of us, right? And we're fashionable and we're, you know, always, you know, edgy and shit like that. I think just looking at groups throughout the years and bands throughout the years of just music and history and whatnot, I see like people usually break up, they do this, they do that. And I'm glad we didn't do that. And I'm glad, because it could have happened. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's been shit throughout the years. Every family goes through their internal shit, you know what I'm saying? But what I love the most about working with those guys is that they know me and they trust me more than anyone else would that I would collaborate with, because they grew up with me. They know my intentions, and they know I'm not gonna make them look stupid or myself. So it's really easy to work with the ASAP Mob. Like, you know, like those guys, it's just so many moving parts and so many of us, you know. And I miss ASAP Yams because he was always just good at like just getting us together and kind of like, you know, dialing in on shit and getting shit done. Us, we just so happy to see each other and be around each other that, like, for the most part, we just kind of just be just doing family vibe shit, you know? Yeah. It's natural for us.
Do you have a favorite movie?
No, because I have favorite movies.
Yeah, it's here, like a short list, top 5.
Fuck. Oh, why you do me like this? All right, cool. I love Lahane. Obviously, City of God was amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Eraserhead is a classic for me.
Oh wow, David Lynch.
Yeah, I was influenced. I sample a lot of his shit in my music. It's so dark.
Yeah.
Have
you guys ever worked together on anything?
Nah, not yet. Not yet.
That'd be good.
But my big homie Danger Mouse works with him.
Yeah. But that's a good list.
You ever heard of this movie? It's starring Max Julian. It's about these pimps. It's called The Mac.
No. Do you recommend it?
It's what Richard Pryor is from the 1970s.
Oh, Richard, yeah.
It's really, low
Okay.
budget. You should watch it.
Okay. I'll put
It's
it on
fucking
my.
amazing. It's actually it was my favorite film in the second grade.
Oh, well, that's great. Okay,
It was
I'm
it
gonna
was a
put that in
Mac
my
named
queue.
Goldie. Yeah, Pimp named Goldie. You'll like it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a smooth cat too, man.
How has success affected your work, do you think?
I mean, success kind of affects it either in a good way or a negative or a positive way because I guess the perks is just like success allows you to collaborate with more people who wouldn't necessarily know you if it wasn't for things you've done on a wider scale. I think the cons of it is really like the bullshit really comes in when it's just like people, I don't know, maybe like a contractor knows that like you're successful, you're famous, so this person wants to, jerk you around and charge you too much and shit like that, right? Or you try to do a secret collaboration with a company and they get so excited, they're so happy that they just spill the beans and you just kind of spoil the surprise and shit. Like it's a lot of things that come with it, and you just got to move differently. Like I'm really a people person. I might ride my bike and bump into an artist organically and just collab with that person. That's how I usually work. Yeah. And that's how I prefer to meet people because it's difficult. It's not as easy for me to like Instagram people for inspiration no more. Like you say, yo, your shit is dope, or yo, we should do this or do that. They'll post it, put it on their shit, and it's just not the same how it used to be. That's the truth.
Right. So just two more questions. Can you just tell us something about how fashion has shaped and informed your work and your life?
Yeah, I think that fashion is it's a part of me, it's just like my sense. It's my sixth sense, my fashion sense, I don't know what it is. I live it. Yeah. I don't even have to love it because I'm in it. I live it. I mean, we all do, even you. You might not know it, but you can't go outside naked every day.
Yeah, right? I have a very limited fashion sense, I'll say that.
But you have one.
I do have one, I guess. Loosely, you could call it
that. I think that fashion is becoming more prevalent, especially in culture and music these days. And solely because of people like myself and Pharrell and Kanye West and shit like that, figures who are just like advocates and catalysts for fashion, right? I think more so than ever, kids feel like they need that component to be successful. And it does help to look nice while doing it, but it just started out for me. It's not even started out. It just is something natural for me. That's what we do. We always gonna be elite in that sense. It's just, it goes without saying. I think that hands down, even in the fashion industry, there's some tacky motherfuckers, bro. It is what it is. It's just over consumed by tacky people and shit like that, right? And I think that there are politics to any industry that we talk about. So if we're talking about fashion, they have their internal politics and quotas to meet and shit like that. So that's why certain brands and certain styles that we all want to just go the fuck away, stick around sometimes. It's because there's intent behind it, and their clothes and product to move and shit to sell. So, I think fashion more so than anything is just it's like my music. It could be looked at as an art formation, or it could be looked at as a business outlet. And I play with a little bit of both, and I try to make sure that my compassion and my authenticity is always just first. And I keep myself in check with that and make sure that, I don't get lost in shit, because there's times that people throw money at you that is life-changing and you just like, fuck. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
Watching. But it's just like sometimes it's like you put in this predicament, and for the students watching right now, I just want y'all to know, like, don't compromise your integrity. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. You know how like somebody asks you like, you know, for like $10 billion, would you let Bill Gates take a shit on you? And like if you know, people, all right, I don't know if nobody personally ever asked you that, but that's like a weird, like that's like a weird question that like kids and shit say. And it's like if you say yes, that means that you would do it. It doesn't matter. Take the money out the equation. So my thing is to you students or anyone listening, if it's something that you wouldn't do morally, just don't do it, even if it's money involved and it's a lot of money involved. Fuck that shit, because you compromising and you know, I mean, hey, selling out, it's for some people. It works for some people. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Hey.
So
fuck that. Don't compromise, kids. Yeah. Don't compromise.
Well, this sort of anticipates my very last question. And before I ask it, I just want to thank you so much for coming on and doing this. It's so meaningful to all the students and everyone out there, and myself as well. But my last question is, what advice would you give students, particularly now in this moment that we're in?
It's really difficult for me to give advice right now because the scale of things are it's radical right now, right? Like, it's just like, we don't know if the world is going to open up to the new world or the old world when things get back to how it was. I don't know if things will conform. I really don't know. But the best advice that I could give someone is just like, try to pick up a trade that makes you feel good, that can also make you money, you know? Because I think that for the most part, like, most people are in predicaments where they need to pay bills, man. And, you know, that's their life. And they're not really in a fortunate position to be like, well, fuck that. I'm going to turn down this $2 million, $3 million, $10 million thing. I don't, you know, some people are like, they need to do that, you know? And I don't want to contradict myself, but, you know, I kind of was joking a little lightly earlier, just a second ago, what I said. And my best advice is just like what I just said a second ago. Just stay true to yourself. It's the only way. You know, authenticity at this point is the only way. You know, it's culturally what gets you going, what pushes you. You know, it's just stick to your guns, man. Honestly, I know that's some vague shit to say, and I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. I think the climate right now, the world is just like, fuck, it's just crazy, man. Everybody's hypersensitive, you know, with so much restrictions and stuff like that. I'm really excited to see what happens when the world opens back up, so to speak, and just all the new art, all the new artists, it's just gonna be so much new sub-genres and cultures to gravitate towards, you know, and I know this shit is gonna be enticing, so that's what I'm really preparing for, man. And I would just tell everybody, man, just stick to your guns, man. You just don't compromise any of this shit. And, you know, life is just one big journey, as you know, and it's just a learning lesson, and just learn from everything and learn from my mistakes, the next person's mistakes, next man's mistakes, next woman's mistakes, and, you know, try to live like that, man. Word.
Well, that's great advice, Rocky. And thank you so much for doing this. I know you're
absolutely, absolutely. Can I ask you something before you go though?
Sure.
And that's what was your favorite or most enjoyable piece or process that you made? What's your favorite shoot or your favorite piece or process?
That's a really good question, and I know you would answer the same in terms of your own work, that like I like them and dislike them all equally. Like I don't like to, you know, there's a moment when I'm making a picture that like I feel like I fall in love with the image, but then you're on to the next thing, always on to the next thing, you know,
yeah.
The next picture.
Yeah. Can I ask another question?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to make this, I don't mean to flip thing, but I mean, a lot of people would shoot me for not even asking these questions. I mean, I have an opportunity to talk to you and I'm not going to ask these questions. Come on, man. You can't blame me.
Turn it around.
Do you ever have any intentions on doing something like inner city? Because mostly all of your art is usually more like urban suburbia kind of, poverty and, like that kind of shit. Like, have you ever thought about doing like a metropolitan thing? And if you stayed away from it, why?
Well, I think every artist has their own landscape and their own setting, but there's always an exception to every rule.
Okay.
So we'll continue the discussion. And Rocky, it was so great to do this. And I'm glad we finally got on.
Man, thank you. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time. And thanks to everybody that's listening.
Yeah, there's so much words of wisdom there.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I just love talking art with you. We can do this for hours. All right.
Yeah,
man.
We'll do it again.
Like we usually do, man. Good seeing you and good speaking to you.
Great. Thanks so much.
Peace, man. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.